and go.
Right, another episode, Third and 30. This time over live from Brooklyn, live from Williamsburg. As you see people in the background there walking, just doing their leisurely stroll here on a
You
Friday
have
night.
to you have to get their consent before you put them on video.
Hey, we don't have their names or anything, right? So,
Diddy.
yeah, yeah.
You have to get consent, Diddy. No, I'm just kidding.
I got some consent forms, Third and 30 consent forms. Started handing them out to people. So, how y'all doing today on a Friday, Steven? What's going on in Portland?
It not as active as Brooklyn though. I think we have a Brooklyn district out here in Portland though. Not anything like that though.
Biters, bunch of biters.
We
How
have
are
a
you, Cal?
Hollywood district, a Portland, Brooklyn district, just
Hey,
like
they have one thing in common though, the hipsters. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Just keep just like stealing culture. That's it. Yep.
Yep, yep. I probably should say that too. I'm not even scared of them. But anyway, Cal, what's going on in Cali? Still hot out there?
It was 103 yesterday. It's 102 out here now. So yeah, it's hot as fuck.
These are the days I love being in Jersey, New York. Because it was
Yeah.
hot a couple weeks ago, but now it's cooled down. Now it's nice.
Uh,
And by the way, in case y'all are
uh,
wondering, I know Calvin and Steven know this. I'm here for the Clip show. It's coming up in about an hour. So I'm about to leave and go see them. Hopefully see Stove God open up for them. But go ahead, Cal. What were you saying?
Nothing. I was just gonna say I got lectured on premarital sex yesterday from one of my customers, which was very very funny for being a 35-year-old. But yeah, so it was a
Hey,
great
hey,
week.
hey. Came from a good place.
I'm not so sure.
Okay. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I felt it was a lady, but I felt very judged.
Oh, you think
But
you think it was just shade then? Okay.
No, it wasn't even shady. She was just like, "Hey, are you dating anybody?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been with my girlfriend for a couple of years now." She's like, "Oh, why haven't you got married?" I said, "We're taking our time." Da da da. She said, "Oh, well, marriage has its benefits," and I was like, "Oh yeah." She was like, "Unless you're already partaking in the benefits," and I said, "What
What
the
did you say
fuck?"
to that? You
I,
said what
s-
the fuck?
no, I didn't. In my head,
Oh,
I said, "What the fuck?"
okay.
But I kind of just let it go. You can't argue with old people because if you start yelling at old people,
You're the bad guy. I know.
you're a terrible
Yeah.
person. So.
Yeah.
I
wait,
just
was
kind of
she
had to.
married?
Her husband was right there and he had Alzheimer's, but she was giving me the whole rundown. I was like, she tried to guilt trip me into getting married immediately, or it felt like I was going to hell.
Put a ring
So,
on it, Cal. Put a ring on it.
yeah, so, all right. We're not gonna pressure on the podcast,
All
but
right.
yeah,
So off top, we got AFC West preview today. The home of the reigning three-time consecutive AFC champion and second best quarterback overall, Chiefs. So should we start there? Should we start with the Chiefs? Let's start with the Chiefs. So obviously, got their asses kicked in the Super Bowl. We know that. So
glorious.
not a good day for me. Not a good day. More so because they lost to the Eagles. I wouldn't have cared if they lost to like the Bears or some shit. But like the Eagle, that really was not a good day for me. I turned it off after the first quarter. So yeah, don't ever expect analysis from that quarter on from that Super Bowl. But they did draft an offensive lineman, a tackle. They do have guys coming back. They got Hollywood Brown, right? They got what's the guy's name? The guy with the DUI.
Rasheed Rice. It's not a
Rashid.
DUI, but was it a DUI? Whatever it is, they like to drive fast out there, in
Yeah,
Kansas
yeah.
City.
A little while. Well, let Steven tell it. Everybody out there drives a little crazy. 90s just like
Everybody
50
in the
here, right,
It's a
Steven?
everybody in the
recommendation.
division,
Yep.
Yeah,
everybody,
that's
everybody in the division likes to drive fast. Henry Ruggs, Rasheed Rice.
The
for
That
real.
recommendation in Texas. It's not a limit, it's a recommendation.
So, so what do you guys think? Do you think they still ended up taking the AFC crown? Travis Kelce's another year older. The defense is not as good as it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they won. What do you think? Let me just say what I think. I think their I think their offense is going to be maybe slightly better, but I don't think those receivers. I mean Xavier Worthy too. Xavier Worthy another year added to his belt, but I think Travis Kelce, the loss of him is going to hurt. I know he's still there, but he's aging another year, and he's just not the same player. And he's so vital to that offense. I don't think their deep threat is going to be anywhere near the ballpark what it was when they had Tyreek Hill. Um, I just don't see it. I see a little bit more improvement maybe versus last year, but I don't know. And the fact that they win all these close games, if that was any other team last year, except the two-time defending champs, we would be saying this is the luckiest team ever. And you both know that. That's
I
the
was
because
say
with
I was saying it regardless of if they were champs or
right,
not.
right. I mean, they were lucky. They were lucky. Well, how many? They only lost one game, right?
They
Or
were
two?
they were lucky and they benefited from officiating. I know nobody
They were
wants to
lucky.
hear it, but
No, they
they
were lucky.
benefited
They
from
were lucky.
bad officiating.
Now, are they skilled? Somebody can argue, and play devil's advocate. Well, they just know how to find a way to win in close games, which you got to give it to them for that too. They do, they do.
If
But
somebody if I got a first down and the ref said I didn't, that's not finding a way to win. You're just benefiting from bad officiating.
hey, you know what? Some would argue that you're not wrong. Okay, yeah.
And
So I can't.
and it's amazing that Buffalo. I think people might start getting tired of Buffalo. I understand it, but them implementing the first down marker, just the visual thing, is like the second major rule change that has gone because Buffalo lost a game in controversial fashion. So yeah,
So I say all that to say I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. They only lost one game last year, right?
Two.
they
Was it
lost two.
two? Two.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
I
mean, if
gotta
you're
think they
unless you're
lose.
not counting that game at the end where they laid down.
Right. So I gotta say they
But how
lose
many
at
games
least
should they have lost last year is the real
Five
a
or
question.
lot.
six.
Five
There's
or
a lot.
six. Five or six. So
Yes.
you really should be looking at them like a what? Would that be 11 and 16? That's what you probably should be looking at them as.
Yeah.
That's fair. So you know what? I'll say them. Yeah, I'll say they'll probably go like around that this year. 11 and 6. 11 and 6, 12 and 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's probably the range. I don't see them coming close to what they did last year again in terms of the close wins. Because you know what? That's gonna come back. That's gonna catch up with you. You see these other teams, you go year after year. It just doesn't work like that in the NFL. It's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. So I think this year it's going to come back to bite them. I think there are other challengers in the division too. More on that later. But um,
I
and
don't know
again,
anymore.
the offense is just not. I'm telling you, you guys know I love Mahomes, right? I love me some Mahomes. That guy's I just enjoy watching him play ever since he came in the league. But it's been fun in a different way these last couple of years. It's been fun because you come up with clutch moments at the end, but it's not fun just the game after game because the passing attack's not there since Tyreek Hill left. It's just not as been as fun. They tried to get help. Xavier Worthy was going to be the guy to replace him, but I don't know. He's not. He's not that guy. Not to replace
I'm
Hill anyway.
not sure. I'm not sure if I agree.
You think he could be that guy? You think he could be like Tyreek
I
Hill?
think
I
that
don't know about that.
he was in his first year. He runs 4-2. He's gonna
He's
there
a burner for
the
sure, but
Yeah, the offense is getting Rasheed Rice back minus 6 games,
yeah,
but
exactly.
they have
Hollywood
Hollywood that
Brown.
they have burners. It's they probably just don't have the prototypical like possession receiver on their team, and that's probably what Kelsey's going to end up being now. So they're going to have three speedsters at wide receiver, and then they're going to have Kelsey.
But also another.
Pacheco coming back off the broken leg.
I
He
think
should be healthier this season too.
I was just
Juju
going to
kind of
mention
fills
that
that
Pacheco.
role.
I did not know that he was still there. I'm gonna be honest.
Juju's still there. Yeah.
God, I know Kanye still hates that team.
Wow, I didn't know he was still there either.
Yeah.
He's got to be
I'm
buried
kind
in
of
that depth chart.
I'm kind of surprised he's still there.
He's probably going to be a cut, I bet, at the end of the year, at the end of the preseason, rather. But
I
They're bad at well, I don't want to say bad, but
I
they're
don't think they're bad.
well, I think they have
I don't think they're good.
If you trotted out a lineup of Xavier Worthy, Rasheed Rice was, and I'm not just saying this because he was on my fantasy team, but he was killing the first couple of seasons before the injury. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not finished. I can't believe I'm caping for the Chiefs, but I think their wide receiver core is going to be good. Minus, Kelsey's another year older, but I think he's still going to be able to find ways to get open because he's just a crafty veteran. Um, so I don't think that they're not the best of the best, but I don't think their wide receiver core is bad by any
But
means.
They're
that
decent.
is it enough to overcome all that luck that they got last year though? That's the thing.
I mean
And
that's hard to say,
because
but with Mahomes, I can see him. I feel like he can raise the talent level around him, similar
That's
to
it.
what when Peyton was there and he had Austin Collie and Pierre Garcon, and he turned them into, he
right.
got Garcon paid, he got Collie sent to the hospital a couple of times, but Collie was leading touchdowns
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
but
think
those
that I think
teams, right, just to your point, those teams though, it's not like those teams made a deep run. Those teams just got in the playoffs and bounced, first round exit. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're I mean, I think they're going to make the playoffs, of course, but
well they
I
went
could
to the
see
Super Bowl with Garcon.
Well,
that
I
was
get what Mike's
2009,
saying though,
but
because it's almost like that's my same mindset where it's like if the Chiefs run into the Texans, that's where the Texans could bounce out the Chiefs possibly if they
Yeah.
get that type of matchup where it's like, oh, you might not want to run into
Derek Stingley, they're going to lock that
that
down, lock
team.
all those guys down, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not a good matchup.
exactly. So it's
But
kind of like
they would have to make the playoffs. I think the Texans will make the playoffs, but you know,
there's
we'll
certain
see.
teams that they would probably be like, hey, we may really want to avoid the Texans and the Bills as much as possible and or hope somebody knocks those two teams off so
I
we could have our run through.
I don't
That's
think the Chiefs are going to be scared of going in and playing anybody, though. As much as I hate them, I don't think they're going to go into a game and be like, "Oh my God, I don't." They're not going to give a fuck about the matchup because they have the mental edge of knowing that they've beaten any team they're going to come up against. They're going to be like, "We've
okay.
beaten them before."
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I to an extent I agree, but then it's like this is where it's like so I'm kind of with both of you guys where it's kind of like I think they're about like a 12-win team this year.
That's probably right. Yeah.
And then I'm also with like I think they should have the mental confidence, but I think they also may have like the mental fatigue of kind of like always run. And this is where it's like I did start seeing it with the Patriots at a certain point, like in the 2010s, where it's kind of that mental fatigue of always running it back, those deep
So
playoff runs, where it's kind of like by the time they got to that Super Bowl with the Rams, it's kind of like, or even that playoff game, the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, like they were on fumes at that point. Like they were just practically done at that point. Like that was their Super Bowl legitimately. Like they were done. I could see it where the Chiefs, they may just be done at that point. Like we might have seen like them versus the
Please don't
Eagles.
start this
yeah,
because
don't
then
give
you're
him
gonna
hope. Don't give
fucking
him
you
hope.
no, no, because you're gonna jinx it and they're gonna be right back
No,
where they
I'm
fucking
telling you,
No.
were.
no, this is where it's like sometimes where it's like you see that team where it's kind of like, hey, they've just continued to just get there and they've just done it so many times where it's kind of like,
I've
So
seen I've seen the Alabama Crimson Tide go to like seven national
but you're
championships in a
getting
row.
like that new recruiting class and then
so
you're
two
getting those young
questions.
and hungry
Valid.
players back and stuff like that. And it's kind of like that new energy.
Ah,
And I don't know if that's what you're necessarily getting when you just had a bunch of players thinking, hey, three-peat, and we're doing this again. And they were talking about having an undefeated season last year and a three-peat.
Which
Like
is
that
wild
was
because that was the worst undefeated team I've ever seen in my life.
but that's like what that was the energy around that team. And yeah, that was that would have been crazy had they really ran the tables and done that. But that was the energy. And then it's kind of like, I don't know at
So
this point,
s- s-
12
sorry.
wins. Yeah.
So two questions. Do the Chiefs win the division and do they make it back to the AFC title game? Mahomes has never not gone to the AFC title game. I'm gonna say I'll say yes to the division. I think it's gonna be closer than people think. And AFC title game. Oh man, oh man, oh man.
it's just gonna depend on who they play.
Right now, I'll say yes. I'll say yes. I think they somehow they find a way. I don't know how. Calvin will like it probably. Probably some.
I think that they'll probably end
quote
up there
unquote
too.
quote unquote fluke ending, right? Um, yeah. Well, but I'll say yes to both.
12 wins
I'll
and no. 12 wins, yes to the division, no to the title game. Yeah.
okay. So you think his streak ends finally?
Yeah.
Praying.
What What do you think, Cal?
I think they'll probably end
Yes
up
to
there
both.
as much as I don't
Yeah.
want them there. I wouldn't be surprised if they only won 10 games, had to go on the road to win two to get to the AFC Championship
I
game, and
can't
Then
still
see
won
end
the
up
that.
getting
whole
there.
won the whole damn thing, right?
I've learned enough. Even though here's the thing,
If
do
they
I think
win
that
10
that
games,
I think that the Chiefs have been on an all-time run. I think Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I think that Kelsey is one of the best tight ends of all time. I think that both of those things goes without saying. Again, the way that the games have been officiated, I'm not a fan of, but they do have situational awareness in a lot of games where when the games are close, if you give them a chance or you give the referees a chance to help with the issues, they're gonna find a way to beat you. So, um, do I want them to end up? My heart is telling me that they'll probably end up there. My head is telling me that they'll probably end up there. My heart is hoping that they don't because I don't want to sit through another AFC Championship game saying I'm not watching the Super Bowl if this team makes if they make it the Super Bowl. So
Maybe it'll
do
be
I
Chiefs
think?
Eagles. Run it back a third time. Why
no.
not?
Yeah, if it's Chiefs Eagles again, I'm legitimately I have not watched the Super Bowl since I was a kid, but I really might not watch it.
No. It
I
I
can't do it again.
there
That's
would
why I'd watch the halftime. Whoever hopefully it's somebody good.
one if they win 10 games, I think there's a legitimate chance the Broncos or the Chargers are going to be hosting a
So
playoff game at that point.
yeah,
Okay, so
let's go to the next one. Let's do Chargers. So what
uh
do you want to go, Calvin? You want to go say something about them?
I just think that the Chargers are in trouble because of the Slater injury. I know they have Joel on the other side. Um, but losing they just paid him like 2 weeks ago, and you're losing one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Um, I like what they did at receiver, outside of Quentin Johnston. Um, Lad is gonna be very good. They got another dude from Auburn, I think,
T,
Lambert,
T,
who
and they got
looks
and they
pretty
got
good.
T. What's his name? His name's escaping me. Harris, Trey Harris, right?
Yeah, he looks legit. Um, and then I was a big fan of Marion Hampton when he was at North Carolina. I think that he might
He's going to be
end
a
up being
stud.
the real deal.
Yep.
Um, and then the defense, the Chargers defense, they lost Bosa. I think they cut him because he just couldn't stay healthy, but they have some players on the team. Khalil Mack's going to be a little, he's long in the tooth, so um, he's going to be there. But I just losing that if they did not lose Slater, I think that they could have done some real damage in there. The Slater injury concerns me a lot because I don't want to see Herbert. I want to see Herbert upright, but I also want to see them go back to the kind of high flying offense from Herbert's rookie year, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
No, that back then they had a healthy Keenan Allen, a healthy younger Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams back then. Much different offense. Austin Eckler too, great pass catcher out of the backfield. But yeah, no, that's why I don't like preseason, to tell you the truth. Because to me, nothing good could come from preseason except these fucking
Well,
injuries
he
like
didn't.
that.
He got hurt in training
It,
camp,
it-
though. It wasn't.
I agree.
You
No, no,
have
I
to
know,
have
I
some
know,
kind of
I know,
preseason
I
to
know. You're
do it.
right. You're right. I just the whole free first game. Okay, I'm lumping it all together. It's like to me, nothing good comes from it until that.
But if they didn't have it, they would be getting hurt more. If they
I
just
know.
just imagine they came off the street and were like, "Hey, you're playing a
You
game
can't do
tomorrow on
that. It's
Sunday."
unrealistic. Yeah, you can't do that either. I get it. And you know what? To that point too, I feel like the lack of two days back, I guess when they did this the CBA back in 2011 when they got rid of them. Um, I think that's hurt the product too in the beginning of the year, especially the first like 4 or 5 weeks. It's definitely not the quality of what it was, but that's a topic for another day. But the Chargers, I think I don't think that. I think the biggest question with them is, do they have enough at wide receiver? I love Ladd. I think he's really that guy, but I know Harris is going to be good, but I don't know. I don't trust Quentin Johnston. Okay, he's been a bust.
Well, I'm
Um,
sure he might get cut. I hope he gets cut. No
yeah,
disrespect to him and his
yeah,
family.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when you guys say
Shout
you
out his
don't
family.
trust them, how many, like Calvin, how many wins are you talking about still? Like, because
Shout out Shadur. Um, I they should be able with Justin Herbert at quarterback. I feel like he counts for 9 wins just automatically when he steps on the field. He
I
should be
agree.
able to account for that many wins. And
I
then
don't
if the
know if that's the
defensive
case.
if the defense is you don't think Herbert, okay,
I
well,
think
No,
nine,
I don't
I
think of him like that.
nine's fair.
uh
Uh-uh.
you don't think that
Uh,
he's worth 9 wins?
no, just him. No. So if you
All
put him
right.
with like a let's say an av now Harbaugh's a good coach, an
If you traded Justin Herbert to the San Francisco 49ers, they'd be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Or okay,
Hmm.
let me not say them. If you traded him to almost any, if you traded him to the Rams, they would be favorites to win the Super Bowl, or
Oh,
they
I agree with the
co-favorites
Rams. I
somewhere.
actually
So
they would be highly ranked, but that gets me into another thing that I don't that I want to know how you feel about this, Calvin, because this narrative's going on, man. I know you're not gonna like to hear this. The guy doesn't play well when it counts. Doesn't play well when it counts. So what do you agree with
so
that? Do you
it's
disagree with
kind of
that?
overblown because when in the Jacksonville game, he missed 2 throws and they acted like he played like trash the whole game. The Texans game, he completely fell apart,
He
and I
shit the
did
bed.
not. I did. He shit the bed on that game, and there's no discourse for that. Shadur is out. Oh, okay. Sorry.
So yeah, I
Nice way
think
to get out the pocket. But
I pretty much agree with you there because I remember that what was it 20 I don't remember how many points they blew in that game against
it
Jacksonville
was
20
20. I think it was
something
27. I think it was like
27
27. It was a lot
27
of points,
wild.
but it was a total collapse from the top down. And Herbert missed one throw to um I don't know if it was Keenan Allen. It was somebody in the end zone. They missed a throw, and then the whole narrative was that if he completed that throw, they would have won the game, which I don't know, but they completely collapsed. So it was from the top down, and I think that was the game that ended up getting Staley fired. Um, but yeah, I I think that Justin Herbert, if you trade him to a lot of teams in the NFL, they become favorites to either win the Super Bowl, get to the AFC Championship game, or at least that winning the division is minimum. So I think that he's an incredibly talented quarterback. He's one of my, and I'm not saying that just biased off of watching him play. I think that he's a very talented guy. So
So let's
but
hear what
it's
Steven
gonna be tough.
so let's hear what Steven thinks. I'm pretty sure he thinks very highly of the Chargers. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think they're a 9 win team. Like, and that's why I
I thought
think
you were gonna say double digits. Okay.
no, and that's why I'm saying, like, if you say like the Chiefs would be kind of like in that 10 win area, it's kind of like that's why I'm saying the Chargers, like, hey,
Oh, I'm not
that's
saying
like
the Chargers.
I
I'm
mean,
saying
I
other, a
think
couple other
they're in that
teams.
ballpark. That's why I'm saying it's kind of like, hey, if we get the Chiefs Chargers right there, then the Broncos are also in that same vicinity too, right there. So we're all kind of like getting into that territory where it's kind of like it's getting murky for like the Chiefs all of a sudden, where it's kind of like if they're going to play a multiple road playoff games, most likely,
I mean, he did
I
that two
think
years
then
ago,
it's
didn't
going
they?
to be, well, I think it gets a little murky for the Chiefs at that point to get back to a AFC title game. But
That's what they
that's
said 2 years ago too. But
no,
okay.
but no, I think at that point, no, with this team, no, I think it gets a little bit more difficult at that point, where it's kind of like where I do think there are better teams now, where it's kind of like the Texans. I think the Bills are, I think the Bills, if I don't want to give away a Super Bowl pick, but I do think if there was a year for the Bills to get to a Super Bowl, this would be the year if I had to pick a year for them. So that would be the
It's
very early year pick. Yeah.
that's such a drastic change from last year when they were saying, "Hey, it's a rebuilding year and we don't have Stephon and the wide
But
receiver core is ass and all of this," and now all of a sudden,
I think
It's Super Bowl or bust, which is crazy. It was a media thing, but I just found it interesting.
yeah, Yeah, but I
And
do
that gave
think it's
they gave Josh Allen the MVP because of that stupid narrative, by the way, when Lamar should have
He
won his
did.
third. That
No,
is such
okay, all
bullshit.
right.
Such bullshit.
That's
but I
not
think
true,
but
but
What? Wait,
regardless,
wait, wait, wait,
wait.
wait. You don't think
it's
Lamar
not.
should win
Well,
MVP? Oh
n-
wow,
um
you're wrong on
oh,
that. But okay,
well,
it's a
you're
it's
wrong
I
you
on
don't
that.
can't
have
be
enough to
wrong or
floor to
right.
that.
It's an opinion, but I think that Josh Allen did
Uh,
more with less.
I
So
I
Lamar had
you
one
don't
of
have
the
to
most
agree. I'm just
impressive
telling you.
seasons ever.
I think Lamar was incredible last season. I think that he also had somebody that ran for 1,800 yards, and he was surrounded by more talent than Josh Allen did. Josh Allen's top wide receiver was Khalil Shakir, and
They
then
felt bad. You know, you got to give it to
he
somebody
they
else. That's
didn't
what it
feel
was.
bad. He played amazing. If the,
hmm,
How did Lamar
you
get
got
first
y'all,
team All Pro?
hmm,
Then
hmm.
how did he get first team All Pro? And
oh my God.
how did that make sense? But
I
anyway,
I
don't
don't
want
want
let's
to
to.
get
I
back to
don't
the
want to
downplay
argue
Chargers.
about this
Lamar's year
anymore.
last year
Nobody's downplaying Lamar or shining out his light. He's a two-time
because of his
MVP,
teammate. I
and
don't know.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that he didn't deserve. But that's who they voted for, and I'm fine with it. I was fine with it either way. Was I fine when they gave
Okay.
Steve McNair and Peyton Manning co-MVPs in 2003? No, not really. But it wasn't the same thing. If they
Uh,
would have gave him
Okay.
co-MVPs, I would have been fine with that too.
oh, so it's different when it's your guy. I gotcha. But
No,
no,
no, no. I'm saying if they got it done two different ways. And
Hmm.
nice throw by Bryce to Ted McMillan, who they said was slow and can't separate, and it was a
he
contested
is.
catch.
I question his work ethic actually. But anyway, that's for another story. That's for another day. But all right. So Chargers. Okay, we both have. I'd have them probably around. I don't see them as highly as you guys. Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're going to win 12 games. I think that they're going to win. I think they'll probably end up winning 9 or 10 because I think the Slater injury is going to be that detrimental to them
Yeah,
because
I agree with you.
they're
I
going to
agree.
have to
I
put
think
Trey Pip. They're going to have Trey Pipkins out there and Joe Alt on the other side.
I'll
I think
go. I'll
Pipkins
go a
is circle.
little. I'll go a little colder than that. I'll say eight. I'll say 8 wins. Yeah, I don't think
So,
they're that great of a
so do
team.
you think the Raiders kind of overtake them a little
Do you
bit
want to
then?
do you want to do them next?
Yeah, yeah.
The Raiders are gonna be a good team. They're gonna be a good team.
Oh
Oh yeah,
boy.
absolutely. 9 or 10 wins. 9 or 10 wins. They're better than the Chargers.
Yeah.
Now
You think
the
the Raiders
defense,
are going to win 9 or 10 games? But
I
okay.
do, I do. I think Brock Bowers, best rookie tight end ever. It's only gonna get better. Now he's got an actual. By the way, that was without an actual quarterback. By the way, now he's got Geno Smith, guy with one of the best birthdays ever. You know, he's still young. So you got Geno, and then you got Ashton Genty. Come on, Pete Carroll's there. By the way, what a coaching upgrade too. Do you remember who they had coach last year, right? Antonio Pierce. Come on.
Can you name anybody in the in the Raiders secondary?
No,
Uh
I don't know secondaries like that. I'm not gonna lie.
no but if never mind.
I'm not gonna name. No, their defense is gonna be but I'm telling you that offense is gonna put up numbers, especially with Brock Bowers.
I also don't think that, but
And I'm telling you, by the way, Chip Kelly's going to really like people think Chip Kelly because like he was in Philly and all that. Oh, he was a joke, right? But I'm telling you, he's going to be good for that team. That with him and Pete Carroll, I'm telling you, man, Pete Carroll doesn't lose, man. He doesn't go like 6 win seasons.
this defense might be one of the worst in the NFL. I'm just
Uh,
outside of I'm gonna name this the people that they have on the depth chart. And outside of Max Crosby, you tell me if you know anybody besides Devin White. But they
I
have John LaLue, Adam Butler, Malcolm Kuntz, Jermaine Pratt. Okay, we
oh,
know him from Cincinnati. Eldon Roberts, Devin White, who is just the Buccaneers. He was very good in Tampa, and then he just fell off a cliff. Darnay Holmes at corner, Darian Porter, Eric Stokes, who was a Green Bay flameout, Isaiah Polo Mao, and then Jeremy Chin, who I really liked in Carolina, but he's over in the Raiders now, so it couldn't have been that great. Um, yeah, this defense, I think that this defense is going to be awful.
Calvin, you're letting them off the hook on offense.
But
Like the offense is
why? Because
not
they don't have wide
I
talented.
think the
receivers.
offense, yeah,
The
but I
offense
don't
is
even,
not
I just
talented.
don't.
I also like Jack Besh. I think he's going to be. He was a really good pickup for them. I think he's going to be a good wide
I'm sorry.
receiver.
I'm sorry. Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker,
Thank
and
you. That's
Jack
where I was
Besh.
gonna
Jack
go.
Besh.
That's
What
and
about Jack
Geno Smith.
Besh?
That's good.
no,
And
And
Brock
they're
Bowers
doing
outside.
Geno Smith is being set
Michael
up.
Mayer, Ashton Genty. Okay, yeah,
Gino's
okay, guys.
being set up.
They're going to
It's
have a
kind
better
of
record than the Pats. I'm going to go on record saying that. Better record
That's
than the Pats.
I disagree. I
Yep.
disagree with that.
Better than the Pats. Better
No,
than the
I
Pats.
really disagree with that because it's kind of like no, I would actually take the and I would take the Patriots wide receiver core over what the Raiders
I
have right
wouldn't.
now. Because it's kind of like,
It,
yes, 100%. I'll take Coke Stephon Diggs over
same.
anybody the Raiders have right now because it's kind of like I think they're setting Geno Smith up. I don't know what in the world's going on because it's kind of like I honestly think like it's kind of like Geno, like he has nothing to work with except like Genty's probably going to be the best receiver on the team.
Yeah, it's just gonna be.
other
It's
than
just gonna be
other than
check down,
Bowers.
check down city. Yeah,
Yeah,
Browers and Genty.
he's probably going to end up being one of the best receivers on the team. And I wouldn't be shocked if well, I think you could end up probably double covering Bowers with probably
They're going to run a
like
lot of two tight end
We didn't
sets with
even
Michael
we didn't
Mayer,
even
I
mention
think.
that Jamal Adams might be a linebacker for them too. Which he if he would have done this earlier, I would have said ooh, but it's kind of late in the game for him to be doing that.
I forgot he existed until recently. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and then Tyree Wilson, who's been a flame out this far. Not saying he can't turn it
So
around,
I
but
will
the defense
say,
is going to be awful, and the
we're,
offense. I was trying to shoot them bail, but I don't know if the offense is going to be that great either.
well, Ashton Genty is going to win Rookie of the Year for
I
sure.
don't.
He's going to be. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think easily too, easily. Um, so
uh,
well, you got to lie. You can't lie though.
Uh,
If I believe the Raiders are going to be good, doesn't he have to win Rookie of the Year? It's not even. It's not even a question, right? So, yeah, I got him winning the rookie. I'll say 9 wins for the Raiders. 9 wins. Yep.
if the Raiders get 9 wins, I'll shave my head.
Okay. Bet. That's right. So we're gonna have two
I'll sh-
bald
I'll
people.
sh- I'll shave my head to the
We'll have three
normal
bald
length that
people.
I
Sorry,
to,
we'll
to
have
the normal length that
three
I
bald
already cut
people.
it.
Be a bald podcast by January. Actually, no. With Anthony
you
Richardson
know what?
hurt,
No, I still think
good.
Cam Ward. No, I'm still thinking Cam Ward. I think
Yeah,
I still think Cam Ward.
I don't
Yeah.
see it.
Wait? You think Cam Moore's gonna win Rookie of the Year?
Still, yeah, because I
Oh
think he's
no,
gonna start. Yeah, I do because I think
no
he's
way.
gonna. Quarterback. I think the bar's not gonna be too high. I think, yeah, I think he just has to pretty much start all the games,
Wait, you
not
talk
be a
about wide
turnover machine.
receivers.
No, I think he just has to not be a turnover machine at this point. That's pretty much all he has to do. He's going to get rushing touchdowns. I could see Cam Ward getting rookie of the year. Yeah,
Oh, I could
offensive
see
rookie
it,
of
but
the
I
year.
don't. I
Yeah.
could see it, but I don't
hmm
see it over Dempsey. I don't, because I think he's going to have way too much or too little to work with, rather, on offense
And
there.
I could see him rushing touchdowns. I could see him double digit rushing touchdowns. I could see him being pretty productive for the Titans offense, where he pretty much is the Titans offense in that regard. Yeah, I could see him being
Does
offensive rookie
anybody
of the
want to
year.
give a top three of who they think will compete for offensive rookie of the year?
I'd have to think of some names, but I mean, those two
Well,
are obviously tops. Who? What? Tet? I guess Tet could be somebody
Because
possibly.
I think one of
Hampton,
my
he's
dark
up there.
horses
Yep, yep.
is Omarion Hampton.
No,
yeah.
he's up there.
Um,
Well,
I think Cam Ward, quarterbacks always have the inside track.
hmm
And then I really like
Jackson
what I
Dart.
saw.
I'm thinking Jackson Dart,
No,
possibly.
I think you're on crack.
Well, it
But
depends how many games Dart starts. I don't want to count Dart out because if Dart ends up starting probably like
he would have to
12
start
He's
at
not going to
games,
least.
do it. He's
He's
not
not
going
going
to
to
win it.
start 12 games because they're going to play
Yeah.
rush at least the first. They don't like to make switches until it's the bye. So, but
okay.
I don't know if Genty's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But I did like, even though we didn't do too great last night, I really like what I saw from Tyler Warren. So He might be up there too.
That as a tight end, never won Rookie of the Year.
I don't know.
No, right?
No.
So that would
But
be historic.
well, well, no, because
Did
Brock
Brock
probably should
Bowers?
have
He didn't
won.
win it, right? He
There you
won it
go.
last year.
Bryce, this is
Oh,
because I'm watching the game
Jaden won
live.
last year, right?
I'm
Jaden won it.
watching the game live, but Bryce Young looks a lot better this year than he did last year.
It's
I
fake
think he's
football, bro. It's fake football, bro.
I
that's
don't
not
think
how that's
they're
Slow
not
not
down,
how
slow
it
playing.
down.
works.
They're not playing
He's
real
he's
schemes
not
right
taller.
now.
He's barely taller than me. Let's chill. He's
I
barely
don't.
taller than me.
I'm not
That's
buying anything until let
oh
me see
my
3 weeks
God.
of the real season of it.
Yeah, let's get the actual meaningful football. Let's get a month in, and we'll talk about it.
Taysom Hill could look real good in the
Yeah.
preseason right now. I'm not gonna buy it.
Have you ever seen Taysom Hill look good, real good in the preseason?
It's probably. I've seen Tim Tebow look okay in the
What player that ended up
preseason.
being a starter played real good in the preseason? That you just have
Wait,
this cautionary tale about. I just want to know who
wait, a
did it to you.
starter. Wait, a starter look good, not look good?
I'm not saying like Tanner McKee or something last night. I'm just saying what player recently have you seen that looked great in the preseason and then they were a starter and it didn't go well? Now, I'm just asking. I'm not trying to catch you
Well,
up in nothing or anything like that.
I
I
I,
just
I
want to
meant to.
know.
Okay.
I've seen Ryan Mallett look good in the preseason. So it's kind of like
I don't remember that.
like when he was with the Texans. I've seen him like okay, like Ryan Mallett looks like he could kind of like carry on and kind of like okay, he could be a starting quarterback. And
My pushback my issue is that it's always this, oh my God, it's fake football, but these players are not playing fake football. They're playing for their careers. And
Okay.
the Browns are playing their first string players against Bryce Young and he just drove down the field. So my question is why doesn't it count? That doesn't make sense.
Because it's priest. Do you
Because
think? But do you honestly
I
think
think
these
week one
coaches
of
are
preseason.
drawing?
all I
Wait, wait,
said
wait,
was
wait, wait.
I feel like I see improvement in Bryce Young. That's all I said.
But do
Week
you honestly
one.
think they're drawing up all their top plays in preseason week one?
I don't think that the offense is drawing up all their best plays.
Okay,
I'm just
right.
saying
So right.
he
So we
looks
can't
more
judge it. So we can't judge,
I'm
really.
saying he look from what I see he looks more comfortable than he did, and it's a
Well,
continuation of what I saw from the end of the season last year.
well,
That's all I'm saying.
to his credit, he did step it up the last like 4 to 6 weeks last year. So you got to give him that. At least he doesn't look like he's going to go down as a bust. He'll be out of the league in a couple years.
I
So
think
at
he's
least there's that.
baiting us to draft him, and I'm not
Oh,
falling for it.
I wasn't gonna draft Bryce Young in a fantasy league. I'm
Oh
just
fuck
saying
nah.
he looks better.
Slim pickings if you're down to Bryce Young on fantasy. Oh my God.
I'm not falling
Well,
for the bait, Calvin. I'm not falling for it.
I wouldn't try and bait you. If I
you
was trying to
gotta
bait you
be
guys into drafting somebody, it'd be fucking
you
Jackson
gotta
Dart. I'd
be
be like, oh
you
my
gotta
God,
be
Jackson Dart looks incredible.
you gotta be at least 4 inches taller than me for me to draft you a quarterback. At least 4 inches. So
Hmm. Hmm.
there was a joke to be had there, but anyway. So yeah, all right. So we talked about what? Rate what we have left? Broncos?
The Broncos are next.
Oh, they're gonna be lockdown defense. That I think that could be the best defense in football for sure. Top five at worst, probably.
Oh.
Um,
Mhm.
you don't think so?
Oh no, I do. I agree. And I think a dark horse, speaking of offensive rookie of the year, RJ Harvey, he's like a dark horse for me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a dark
And
horse.
yep. No, he definitely, and they got Evan Ingram now too, who I know he's
Mhm.
not a great tight end, but he's something better because their wide receiver core is really not that great. And I always wonder about the quarterback because when I think of him, part of me thinks of like Mac Jones when he came into the league because Mac Jones lit it up that first year and then he fell right back down to earth that second
It
year.
was a different kind of lighting it up though. I don't think Mac Jones has the
He
same
had a
kind of
hot
talent as
streak.
Bo Nix. Yeah.
Yeah, Mac Jones had a hot streak for about, it was like 6 games that made it like, and it was versus bad teams too. I remember it too, where it was kind of like, it was like high completion percentage versus like bad defenses. That in Bo Nix, he has like high completion percentage, but it's kind of like I feel like it's like Sean Payton scheming. He's just fitting within like Sean Payton's scheme, which is just kind of like when they say system quarterback, it's always like a knock or whatever. But in this case, it's kind of like if it's just a fit, it's kind of like okay, it's a fit. It's okay. It's good for
I
Bo
mean,
Nix. Yeah.
no, I hear that like because No, system quarterback isn't always a knock. I mean, there are people who've argued that Brady's the best system quarterback ever. But that's
Every quarterback's a system quarterback, and
Technically, yeah.
uh, yes, but I'm gonna be honest though, Calvin, your guy Peyton a lot is really not. I mean, he kind of was the system
hey,
a lot of
yeah, that's
times.
what I'm saying though, is that if you pick somebody and you put them in a perfect all a system is you put these people in the perfect position, like the perfect offense for them. You're tailoring your needs to their strong suits, and not every offense does that. So when they do it, start calling them a system quarterback. But you should be striving to be a system quarterback because you should be in an offense that highlights your strengths.
Yeah, and to that point, I think most quarterbacks, there's very few quarterbacks that go above and beyond like the system and their circumstances, what they have around them. There's very few. Only the elite, I think, can really play above like and beyond what they're given. For the, you know what I'm saying? Like Mahomes, Burrow, honestly, even Lamar. Like if Lamar was drafted into a different system, right? That didn't let him be who he
If Lamar
was.
got drafted to like somewhere like fucking Tennessee or something, and they tried to turn him into it,
Right.
like they did with Robert Griffin. That's the perfect story. Is Robert Griffin was a mobile quarterback. They tried to turn him into a pocket quarterback, and they fucking ruined his career. He also ruined his career and became a coon. But that's a
Mhm,
story for a different day.
I think
mhm,
we already talked about that one. Yeah.
mhm.
But no, no,
That's a
it's
good
true.
example though. Yeah, because like Marcus Mariota, I think I keep like thinking back, like he got drafted into Tennessee, and I think back, and it's kind of like that was just a really bad fit for him.
I thought he was going to be
Yeah,
the one, man. That's the one I missed on. I really thought he was going to be the one. I thought he was going to be elite, bring the Titans to Super Bowls. And you know what? If he actually was that guy, they probably would have won a Super Bowl because they went
this
there with
man's name
Ryan
is
Tannehill,
Shamar Bartholomew.
Lamar Bartholomew.
Oh Jesus.
So,
Those those Key and Peele skits are really coming into real life right now, honestly. It's fucking nuts.
when were they born? They might have been born around the time
I
of.
don't
Okay.
I'm sure
Well,
he was born in like 2007 just to
I
make me
know,
feel
I know.
super old.
Yeah, we're getting old as shit, man. Like I said, I think I said it on the pod last week. Giants had Tom Coughlin back and speak to the team, and I'm thinking like these kids fresh out of college, they don't even know who that man is.
Hmm.
Like who? Giants? Who? Who? You wanted with them? Oh wow. Okay.
Or when people
Okay.
say, "Hey, I grew up watching Patrick Mahomes." It's like, "Hey, he just fucking got here actually."
Damn, you're right. You know what? So let's see. Yeah. So how old would you have to be? Seven.
You
So
got
yeah, there's
fucking
kids in college. Yeah,
you got
that's
Dylan Raiola fucking cosplaying
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes every weekend.
For sure. Like people in college, yeah, that's their guy. They grew up like you watch Peyton and we watch Brady, right? And Peyton and Philip Rivers and all those guys. But yeah, that's their guy. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, you know. But as far as the Broncos, how many wins do you think they get? Because if they had a quarterback, I think they could win the division.
They
Uh,
do. What do you mean if they had a
I don't think
quarterback?
I'm just not so I'm not sold on Bo Nix, man. I'm not a Bo Nix guy. Never been a Bo Nix guy. So
Do you just be saying shit, or do you be
No, I
watching the
get what
games
he's
for
no,
real?
I get what he's saying
no,
too.
Steven's on board too. He's
I
not a Bo
get what
Nix
he's
guy either.
saying because it's like if
No, he's a
do you
fluke.
think Bo
He's a
Nix
fluke.
is a franchise quarterback?
No, I do not. I do not. Nope.
Calvin, do you?
Are you asking? He's a poor man's Justin Herbert. Like, yeah, I think he
Oh,
could be a
I wouldn't
franchise
say that at
quarterback.
all. I
Food
wouldn't say
stamp
that at
Justin
all.
Herbert. He's like
Whoa,
food.
that's actually kind of insulting to Justin Herbert too.
It
I
is.
didn't.
It's like
I said a poor man's Justin Herbert.
That's
He has a
insulting.
rocket
why?
on.
Just
He
because he
can
went to
throw.
Oregon?
No, that's not why. I'm just
Well, I saw him in
he's a
Auburn, and
athletic
that's not
quarterback.
true.
He has a yeah, but he sucked at Auburn, so that's why he's 25 in his second year because
Yeah,
he had to keep transferring. And you saw progression to the point where he got that last season might have been the best out of Bo Nix that you ever get, but it's
Right.
good enough to
Right.
win.
But you already said it's the
I think
best that
if
you
that's
ever
the
get.
ceiling, then that
Yeah,
may
that's
He
not
not
be
went
great.
good enough.
he went 29 and 12
But that may not be good
for
enough.
almost 4,000 yards, and he ran for another four touchdowns. That's you don't with a defense like that, how good do you want him to be?
That's not good enough to beat Patrick Mahomes and Lamar
You but
Jackson.
they almost beat them.
But
If
that's
they if they
not.
If
good
they
enough.
if they don't have a fucking Ouija board on the field for that field goal, then they win that game. So I personally think if that defense plays well around him and Bo Nix just does a little bit more than what he does, they should compete. If he and if Bo
Well,
Nix
they'll compete. They'll
if he
compete.
gets
But
if he gets even a little bit better, that team that's a very complete team. They should be. I think that they should be very good.
I like the addition to Harvey. Like I said, but I don't know. I see them as like. So what did I
So
say?
the adding a 25-year-old running back is the only addition, and you think that Bo Nix is it? Never mind. Yeah, got
Because
it.
progress. But remember, I said about Jaden Daniels that he could take a step back in the second year, and Jaden Daniels is a hell of a lot more talented than Bo Nix. So uh, I could easily see Bo Nix just falling off.
Jaden
Why not?
Daniels, they're not working with the set. The Broncos defense is a lot better than the Commanders defense. So if Bo Nix takes a, let's just say he doesn't take a step back and he takes a step forward,
Oh,
they'll be in the
that would be
playoffs.
crazy. You think
Wait,
he's gonna
if
take
he
a step
takes a
forward?
step forward, I think that's closer to his ceiling than Jaden Daniels' ceiling, though.
I think that Bo Nix is probably near his ceiling already because he
I
spent
think
so
he hit
long
his
in
I
ceiling.
think
college.
so.
But I'm saying if he plays even a little more better, let's just say instead of 29 touchdowns, he throws for 35, and
I
instead of 4,000, he throws for 4,200 or something. Those extra, but your offense is very good and your defense is very good. So you should be able to make the playoffs. And I personally think if they would have played the Chiefs, that they can compete with all the teams in those divisions because they're gonna play everybody in the division twice and they play the Chiefs tough every time. So once you they got moshed by Buffalo, and I think they got cooked by the Ravens. But if they get better at managing into game situations and making their adjustments, they'll be a very good team. And I think that they can compete. The main person that you have to look out for in that division is the Chiefs, and I think that they can beat the Chiefs. I don't know about in the playoffs when it counts, but I think that
No,
they
they
can
can beat
compete
the
with them
Chiefs.
either
I
way.
mean, oh, okay. I was going to say, what do you mean by beat the Chiefs? I mean, I think I can beat them in a given game, yeah, because they got such lockdown defense. That defense is going to allow them to compete in almost any game that they play. Um, but I don't know. I just don't know if the quarterback's good enough. Could they be good enough for like 8, 9 wins? Yeah, yeah. Which is probably right around where I'll give them. I'll give them like what did I say for the Raiders? Did I say 9? So I'll say uh, I do respect that defense though. I really do. I'll say
The way that you praise Geno Smith and then just shit on
uh, what?
Bo Nix is
Gino's what?
fucking.
Oh, okay. Gino's way better than Bo Nix, bro. Come on, come on.
I don't
but
agree with that
this
either.
is
That's
where I'll
not even
give like
close.
And if
Denver.
Not
we're
even
talking
close.
about ceilings, he Geno Smith took like 10 years to become good.
This is where I'll
Hey,
give Denver their props. I think they'll stay pretty stagnant, and I'll probably say they'll probably maintain their what, like 10 wins from last year. So if like the Chiefs do hit their 10, say the Chiefs stay at 10 wins, or the Chiefs hit 10 wins or 11 wins, Denver's going to be like right on their necks if that's the case. So the Chiefs should be ideally at like 12 wins so they could have some breathing room. Um, so I think Denver's probably going to stay right, just even right where they're at. So they're probably a second place team right there. And I almost said San Diego. Los
We
we all
should
Angeles,
do.
because
like
We
the
all
char
do.
we
We
should.
all almost said San Diego.
the Chargers are probably like
Oh,
that.
good, nice play, Shadur Sanders,
Yep, the
Touchdown. Hall of
starter
Famer.
soon. There we
That's it.
go.
Hall of Famer. Put him in the
Yep,
Hall of
name
Fame.
him the starter. Dylan Gabriel, go ahead. He should just go ahead be the get cut, whatever. But but no, 10 wins. I think that's fair. 10 wins is a good projection for Denver. Just stay stagnant right there, right now. Because they didn't do anything to like hurt themselves in the offseason. They kind of like downgrade. So, and I
because
think
some of
Harvey's
you
a
got. I think
good
you got to realize
addition.
some of these teams are going to cancel out because they have to play each other. So not all of them can end up with 8 or 9 wins. Like
Yeah, well, I think the Raiders are not
I think
Yeah,
the
good.
you mentioned the
Raiders.
Yeah,
I think the
Raiders.
yeah, I
Raiders are
don't
I
think the
probably
think
going
they're
to
Raiders are
end
good.
like
good.
I
Yeah.
think they're going to be good.
I think the Raiders are going to be the worst team in the division for sure.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
the Chargers might. I think the Chargers might.
How, oh my God.
They might. They
Oh
might.
and I
my
think the Raiders'
God.
intent is to kind of fall back because it almost made sense for them to look at drafting a quarterback, but they kind of and it was kind of like, hey, is Tom Brady gonna go for Shadur? Because it's kind of like, and then even in like the mid rounds, it was kind of like, oh, are they gonna take a chance on a quarterback? And they were kind of like, even though they already traded for Geno, they were kind of pretty content. I'm like, nah, we're good. We're just not
Gino,
gonna look at a quarterback
Gino,
this year.
Gino is one of those moves where the team owner knows that the team is tired of losing, so they try and put something on the board like, "Hey, we're trying to be better," but they know that it's not going to end up
It's
being better. They just doing it. It's a placeholder where you have a little bit of hope, like, "Oh, this guy's competent. He can maybe win us a couple more games," but
Nah.
Calvin,
it's not gonna pan out like that.
what you told me about like the Colts, where it's kind of like where they're never
You're in
like bad
purgatory.
enough
You're
to,
in purgatory.
yeah, that's where I think the Raiders are about to
Yeah,
be
but
like next year.
Pete Carroll's a better coach than with the Colts got. And Pete Carroll, let's see, Pete Carroll doesn't lose, man. He just doesn't lose. He doesn't win like 5 games. I know that's what y'all want him to do is like win like 4 or 5 games. And he doesn't do
Well,
that.
no, yeah, Pete's gonna.
But it did happen because he was not good his first go around in the NFL, and that's why he ended up at USC.
Okay, but
So it's
post
that
USC, but
that it
I don't care. I don't care about
Well,
before I
he
watch
had a
football.
good
I only care
quarterback
about
in
that's
his
not
before I
how
first
watch
it
go
works.
football.
round, by the
You
way.
can't just fucking go back and revise
I don't
history
care about
like
I
that.
don't
He
care about
had
the
Drew
90s.
Bledsoe.
As the kids on Twitter say, we done with the 90s. We done with the 90s.
He had Drew Bledsoe, and he still wasn't good at that point. And that was a franchise quarterback back then to kind of work
Yeah,
with too.
like I'm not saying that it's if the Raiders are not good this season, it's not going to be because I'm not going to blame. Oh my God, Pete Carroll's a horrible coach. I just think that they don't have a talented team, and they don't.
I really think Genti's going to be special too. So I think
Okay,
that factors into it.
Genty can be special, and they can go 2-11. He can run for 2,000 yards, and
They
they
only
can
play
go
13 games still.
to however many fucking games they play. Do you know what I mean? They can go 2-15, 2-14, whatever the fuck it is.
I think
They'll lose a
you're
lot of games.
I think you're putting a lot of pressure on Genty, by the way.
Yeah, like I
He's going to
think
be that
Genty,
guy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. He's going to have one of the best rookie seasons for running back. What is the best rookie season for running back? Adrian Peterson?
Eric Dickerson, I think
Oh, Dickerson? Okay.
Because it's kind
probably.
of like when Adrian Peterson was drafted, I think he only made
You
like a
listen,
slight difference to
no,
the
no, 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 no.
Vikings, like
But
two
here's
wins.
here's the thing. And it's not it's you can tell when somebody is Adrian Peterson and when somebody is not. Like I think Anston Genty will be incredible, but Adrian Peterson, they were talking about he could have went pro his senior year in high school. You when you watched him, you knew that he was a surefire outside of injuries. If he played on Sundays, he was going to be one of the best of all time. Like before he even when he was the game he broke his collarbone in the Fiesta Bowl, he runs different than everybody else. Like he's one of them ones. So I think Genty will be good. I do not see Adrian Peterson when I look at Ashton Genty, even though I think he can be very good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great. I do. I don't know if we'll have, no, I'm almost certain he will not have the longevity AP had because that was like, what was he playing into deep into his 30s? I feel like. No, he's not.
Adrian still wants to play right
Yeah,
now.
He never officially retired.
yeah.
So, yeah, no, he's not going to have the longevity, but I think he's going to, let's just say this. He has Hall of Fame potential. How about that? Genti has Hall of Fame potential.
And I think
Everybody has a Hall of Fame potential.
but I think back to like Adrian Peterson too, like how special he was. Like, I think Calvin, what you said, like going back to not,
It's
I don't want to
levels.
make this like, hey, let's glaze like Adrian Peterson, like the segment or whatever, but it's like he was like special in college to where it's like he was gonna change like a franchise.
Yes.
And it's kind of like the fact that he didn't walk away with the Heisman is still kind of like mm, shocking
I
still.
forget who robbed him. It wasn't Matt Leinart. I think it was Jason White.
No, it
It was
was
Jason
Matt
White.
Leinart. No, it
No,
was
no. I think it was Jason White though, because Jason White got a Heisman too.
what
Jason White. Hold on.
because Matt Leinart won the year that like Adrian Peterson, I think, went
No,
crazy
Adrian Peterson was a freshman, and I'm pretty sure. Let me make it up. Maybe let me look it up real quick, actually.
in what was it Jason
Yeah, because okay, so Jason White, he finished first, while Adrian Peterson finished second, and Matt
oh
Leinart. No, wait. In 2004, Jason White, the Oklahoma quarterback, finished third. Oh, yeah, so it was Matt Leinart who
okay
took it from him. But then
Jason
Jason
White
White won a
won
Heisman
won it.
too.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it was kind of like it is kind of like it's still shocking that like he never got one. And it's Genty is like gonna change a franchise, but like I don't know if he's like is he
There's different levels of people. Like if he came in and did what Ezekiel Elliott did, that's more of the impact where I think that he can, but I don't think Zeke is a Hall of Famer. I think Zeke is a
whoa.
Hall of Very Good player. That's
Hmm,
Wait,
just
what do you mean?
me.
What
I
do you
don't know
mean?
about
Well, he's
that.
not a Hall of Fame. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer either. Do you think he is, Steven?
Wait, I think he will get in. I think Zeke's
You
getting
think
into
Hmm.
the Hall of
Ezekiel
Fame.
Elliott will get in?
I
He's
disagree.
gonna get in eventually. Yeah, he will.
Hmm.
I think he's getting in eventually. Yeah.
I don't know about
Um,
He's
that.
getting in eventually.
does he
He
have
never.
over 10,000
I'll just say
yards? I
this:
don't know.
I never saw him and felt like, oh, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I felt like a really good
Uh,
player, but
Yeah, he has good number, but Sean Alexander isn't in the Hall of Fame, and he has 10,000. Because okay,
Sean Alexander
I
also
think
had a
we're
great O
all
line,
equal.
but so
I
did
think we're,
Cowboys.
but I think we're all in agreement that Zeke is never playing another down of NFL football,
no,
probably.
no.
So he's gonna finish with 9,000 yards and 74 touchdowns. So Sean Alexander has like 12,000 rushing yards and 100 and something touchdowns, and they haven't put him in, and he's been eligible for like 4 or 5 years now, probably maybe even more.
Sean
So
Alexander's gonna get in too, but it's I
I
think
don't
Zeke.
know the way that
Yeah,
things
I
are
don't
going.
know.
I don't know, and he should be in,
I think
but I
that's
don't
an
know if he's gonna
eventual.
be
He's
in.
an MVP. He's a one-time like all-time season record holder for. Yeah, he's gonna get in eventually. That's just an eventual
I
thing.
don't know. I don't know if he get it might end up being one of them senior committees, as bad as it sounds, because people look at it and then like, oh, he had Steve Hutchinson and
Walter Jones.
was it Walter Jones that
And he
he had
carried
those
that
two.
team to the Super Bowl. Like you,
He did.
and
I
I think
agree.
that's where it's like you have to, and I don't, okay, I don't know. And I think maybe it's gonna take kind of like looking back at the value of a running back because like the value of a running back's being devalued, and it's gonna be
The
like, wow, look at
the
this player
other
that did that.
the other thing with Sean Alexander is that he fell off a cliff so fast that people just, they forgot about him. The year after he got on there, he ended up on the Commanders, and then he was out of the league not too long after that. So I want Sean Taylor to get in. I think that Sean Taylor deserves to get in, but there has to be I don't the NFL criteria for Hall of Famers is like it's so vast in the race. So giant between it doesn't seem like there's magical numbers. I used to think like if you got 10,000
Yeah.
rushing yards and 80 touchdowns, you should have gotten the Hall of Fame. But there's people with them numbers. Michael argue that Frank Gore shouldn't get in the Hall of Fame, I'm
Michael?
sure.
I don't think you've ever called me Michael in my life.
No, I said Mike will, but you can be
Oh,
Michael too.
okay.
But you said Frank Gore?
But Frank Gore is obviously a Hall of Famer, but there's people like, oh, he ran for 17 different teams, and he's a stat compiler. But if you tell me the number of people that played 17 years or 15 years at that position in the NFL, it's not a long list. And most of them are probably, they weren't putting up that kind of mileage that deep into their career. So Frank Gore is a Hall of Fame. He's the third leading rusher of all time, and he's a Hall of Famer. But there's people that will argue that he shouldn't be in there. Mike likes to say Jerome Bettis shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, which is a joke because obviously Jerome Bettis is a Hall of Famer. But there's people, oh, he's a compiler and this and that. And longevity in this longevity in the NFL at certain positions is more incredible than playing 10 years at different positions. So
I think with Bettis for me is always because you just look at that yards per carry. For me, I know you're gonna say he's a physical back, so he's not.
who's looking at yards per carry? Nobody gives a fuck. You can
I
see
don't care
what
about.
these
I
players.
don't care about bulk stats. I care about efficiency. That's what I care about. I think that's my argument with Bettis. Not to say he's not a very good player. Honestly, I don't really care anymore. If they want to let Bettis in, Joe Namath's in there.
He's
So
already in. There's no need to let
I
Jerome Bettis
know,
in.
I know.
Yeah.
So this is who cares? Who cares what I say? You know what I mean? Joe Namath's in there, so get Zeke Elliott. Well, if Joe Namath's in there, Zeke should be in there.
Uh, mm,
Everybody should be in there at
Uh,
that point.
at
the,
least Joe Namath contributed to
But
a Super Bowl. He won a
when
Super Bowl, and
when
he
he,
almost
how
kissed
many
Susie
touchdowns?
but
over. And he has one of the wildest
I want to
sexual
kiss
assaults on
you right
national
now.
TV
oh my
I
gosh.
want to kiss
Oh
you
ever.
my
right
gosh.
now.
So the funniest assault of all time, or accosting, or whatever you want to call it. Sexual assault's not funny. Let's not make jokes about it. But that
That's
clip is
that's
very hilarious.
that's me too before me too. But
Man, and they just didn't turn, they didn't pan away or
You
anything. They just
know,
let her, they just let him say
speaking
that
of
shit.
the like Me Too, and it's like, and I know these places haven't learned like
okay, everybody
these
meet Mr. Me Too.
uh like ESPN, they're hiring like influencers now, like
We were
to
born at the
be
wrong time.
yeah, they're hiring influencers, like Instagram influencers to now kind of like be sports correspondents and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, oh, this is gonna
It
turn
should have been
out.
me.
Should have been you.
Should have been Gen Z.
But this is going to turn out so bad because I watched that Brett Favre documentary or whatever, and I'm like, that's how Brett Favre started hitting on that girl because she had no background or
In
whatever.
media at
And
all. She was just doing
yes,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm kind of like, it's just like, oh, damn, she's fine. Like, it's like, and she kind of looks like my wife. You know what? Let me go send her
A
and
spicy DM.
and then boom, it's kind of like, so it's like, I already see how this is going to turn out. It's going to be scandal, 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 and it's going to be like this
On
going to
both
be
ends too. It's gonna be on both ends because these kids aren't gonna know how to handle themselves. This is why, and you know where it started when there was some kid, I think there was somebody running like House of Highlights on Instagram. His name was Omar, and he blocked me because I always used to call out when they use those little controversial fucking captions to get engagement on the things. And then they made him the head of social content on like SportsCenter, and I had to unfollow
wait,
SportsCenter
what?
because they kept. Yeah, go look at the Instagram handle for SportsCenter, and it says, "Hey, I'm at Omar." He used to run House of Highlights, and then they hired him to run the content creation page on ESPN. So that's where it started, and then it just continues to go and go and go, and it's just. Yeah, but like I said, these kids are afforded opportunities that we didn't have. I'm not even trying to hate on them because if it was there when I was a kid, I probably would have tried to figure out a way to do it. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm too old. Just too old for that.
Yeah. Well,
But anyways, fuck the Chiefs.
yeah, yeah, overall, it's just, I think at this point, I think the Chiefs, their fatigue's gonna hit them, and I think it's gonna just be their downfall this year, and it doesn't, but that may end up helping them kind of like rebuild their dynasty too, where it's kind of like you get that down year, almost like where we got that
Ooh,
Bengals Rams Super Bowl. It ended up helping them kind of like just start bouncing back to just like three straight Super Bowls or whatever.
I'd rather them get to the AFC Championship game again and then never be able to get back than to have them, oh, we have a down year and then next year we go. I want them to just I want a 10-year gap like the Patriots had.
Oh
That's
gosh.
what I'm praying for. And I
think
don't
it's going to
know. I
happen.
don't know
I
if we're
think it's
gonna
going to
get it.
happen. Oh, well, I don't know about 10 years, but it's going to happen because I said this to Steven like 2 years ago, I think. I said, I don't see Mahomes. I think Mahomes will be lucky he gets five. Did I say 4 rings or 5 rings? I forget. And I'm like, he'll be lucky he gets that. Now, he almost made me look stupid because if he won this year, he already would have had four. So,
Hmm.
okay. So yeah, I was thinking that. But now I just know, I just think it's just too hard to win in this league, especially with the beast in the AFC. One of these teams are going to bound to break through, whether it's Baltimore. By the way, who do you think is more likely to break through, Baltimore or Buffalo? Just really quick. Don't go. Yeah, we'll go into them later podcast. I think it's going to
Steven,
be
Baltimore.
Buffalo,
you can
personally.
you can go
You think
first.
Wait,
Baltimore?
Baltimore or Buffalo for the Super
Yeah,
Bowl? Oh,
yeah. Who do you think is
Buffalo,
more likely to
Buffalo,
break? Yeah,
Buffalo.
me too. Me too.
Hmm.
I Oh man.
Sorry,
It's
chat.
hard to it's just hard to say because Derrick Henry's running out of time. Eventually, I think
Yeah.
time's gonna catch up with him, and then it's just gonna be back to being all not all on Lamar, but Derrick Henry's a special Hall of Fame running back. So um I think it's Buffalo, but Buffalo
Hey, I'm not.
the way that Josh Allen puts his body in more peril than Lamar does, if that makes sense. Like I feel like he takes bigger hits than Lamar. So his window might be a little bit smaller, but I think that Josh can also win from the pocket, so he doesn't always have to be running around. But the ability to do things on the run is what makes him special. So I would want him to get it sooner, but I don't know. I think until I see somebody break through, I don't know if either one of them can do it.
Yeah, I think in any
Really?
other.
Like
Hmm.
if this is gonna sound, and I'm not saying it to be a hot take or anything. I promise I'm not. But if somebody was to beat Kansas City in the playoffs, I don't think that it would either be one of those things. I think it would be somebody like Houston or Denver, where they either it's a matchup or it's a divisional opponent, and then they all Buffalo or the Ravens have to do is get past each other. I think that might be what it takes to get them to the promised land just because of the like they've beaten Buffalo for I think all of Josh Allen's playoff losses outside of a couple are to Patrick Mahomes. So I think that mental edge, even if he doesn't say it, it's got to somewhere be there. So
Yeah,
I think that Buffalo would have to. I think Baltimore. If we're talking going directly through the Chiefs, I think Baltimore is probably more likely to do it. Um, But if we're talking about just winning the Super Bowl, I think that Buffalo would probably be able to do it first, but I think they would have to get some help from somebody else. I don't know if they can go through KC at this
I see.
point.
I see. So you think Buffalo's a better team, but just in the straight up head to head matchup, you prefer Baltimore?
I'd prefer like if you gave me an option, just
Yeah.
because I don't think I don't want to say that I don't think Josh is scared when he gets in there and goes to play them. I think that he's always, but it's always in the back of my head like, hey, this guy
Right.
beats me all the time. When
And if
Lamar
it's in the
played when
back of your head, it's in the back of their head too.
Yeah, so when Lamar goes in there, I think that they just end up playing tight for different reasons. I don't think it's because they're scared. I just think they get out of the element. But I think
Yeah.
the overhang of, hey, we've lost to this team 4 times in the AFC Championship game or in the playoffs in general. When you get there, I think that it's in the back of their head more. And that's why I think that, I think Baltimore, I would take Baltimore to get if there was an AFC championship game and I had to pick between who I wanted to play, right now, I would pick Baltimore. If they got
Okay.
another loss, if they lost again to them, I would say Buffalo, but I just think every year you're losing in the most devastating fashion to this team. At some point, it's like they've lost 4 Super Bowls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's Four Falls of Buffalo Part Two.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely get more into that, as we get closer to the end of August here, when we get our actual title game predictions. We'll do MVP predictions too, Super Bowl predictions. Yeah, we'll definitely get all to all that. All right, toaster roast time, y'all. What do you got, Calvin? You go first.
Why do I have to go first? Because
Because
I'm
I
just
said so.
gonna I'm just gonna call Nicki Minaj a crackhead again. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't really
Wait,
have a
wait.
toast to the roast, but it's fuck Nicki Minaj, fuck her whole family, fuck her rapist brother, and her her pedophile husband, and she just gets online and tweaks out all the time. I don't even think Des Bryant said anything regarding her, and she just completely spazzed out. So,
I think it was some
you know,
Rock
I
Nation beef or something.
yeah, but like go outside or go find some new dope to smoke or do something. She's a troll at this point. And it's sad because some people I've always said I'm not the biggest Nicki Minaj fan. I don't know how great of a rapper, in my opinion. I don't think she's the greatest rapper either, but I know for the culture, she's an icon, and I think she's an icon regardless of if I feel a certain way about her or not. But she's going out very sad just every time. I can go outside, I can go online and tweet something, and if it has her name in it, she's gonna find it in a hashtag. It seems like she just scrolls Twitter all day to find something to lash out at, and it's very fucking weird.
Mhm.
You shouldn't be doing the same thing. She does the same thing Azalea Banks does, and nobody gives a fuck about Azalea. The only difference is nobody gives a fuck about Azalea Banks, and everybody cares about Nicki Minaj. So
You know who that reminds me of a little bit? Now he's not as bad, but KD is a little bit that way too. I feel like KD like needs
I
to lay low on the trolls and shit like that. Man,
but I
you
think
living a good life, bro.
KD talks a lot of shit, but there's a reason for it. So like somebody will be like, "Oh, KD did this," or somebody's talking directly about him. Nikki just jumped bad with anybody if she feels like she perceives they say anything about her, even if they're not talking about her.
It's
It's very
jealousy.
it's
It's
very
D'Angelo
some
last
strange.
week,
jealousy,
Des
insecurity.
Bryant this week. Yeah,
She
yeah. No,
she
I feel you.
she anytime she feels threatened by somebody who she thinks is gonna take any kind of shine away from her, she jumps bad. But Des Bryant doesn't even fucking care. Like you're not even in the same field of things
You
to
know,
do. So like, why are you here?
not even sure they ever
But
met.
you
You
know
know what I mean?
what? When Des Bryant said he would like smash her husband's skull in or
And
whatever,
she,
she shut
mhm.
up. So you
Yeah,
know what?
Des Bryant would probably beat that man's ass. And she didn't say nothing else about, hey, come fight my husband. Like, what are you doing?
Mhm. Yeah,
Steve,
that's one of
Steve,
the yeah.
Steven, you're next.
Okay, mine's more light than that, but it's kind of like I'm on Team Des with that. It's kind of like that was Des was in the right that time because yeah, he was in the right with that. But mine's more light. It's just toast to like Terry Francona, like he's in like the silent running for like NL Manager of the Year, especially if he gets the Reds into the at least in the wild card. I think he got like his like 2000 win as a manager just like a little while ago. But like he's like really creeping up into getting the Reds into the playoffs now. So it's kind of like that improvement that he's made this year just with that team, and it's kind of like low expectations, and he's just like at this point it's kind of like gosh, if he won the World Series with the Red Sox, got
All right.
the Indians to a World Series, and now it's like he's overachieving with the Reds, he may go down as like the GOAT at this time in terms of just being a manager at that point. Like, that's a resume that I don't know if anybody could be able to kind of like overtake with those three uh baseball clubs. So I don't know. So shout out to Terry Francona. Yeah.
I mean, especially if he gets the Reds anywhere, because the Reds have been shit basically my entire sports watching
A
life,
whole
sports
life.
viewing life. Yeah,
Yes.
What was Ken
forever.
Griffey Jr. doing going there?
Yeah, why did he go
Jesus.
there? I've always thought about that.
I think his dad
Why did
played
they?
there.
They did.
Yeah.
So they had money like that back then. How did they
With that
offer up
They
racist
that
still
money?
owner.
they're still paying King Griffey Jr. money to this day.
Right?
I'm pretty sure.
Where did they find that money? Because I feel like they never spent it again, other than that Joey Votto contract that was there for like 15 years. You know what I mean? I don't know. But my toaster roast is just, I think it's just going to be hip hop, just hip hop in general, man. It's so, there's so many dope hip hop releases this summer. So we had what? We had Clips, We had Freddie Gibbs. We even had like OGs like Raekwon come through. Um, we had just so many dope things, man. And I feel like there's a song by Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. What was it? I Still Love Her. I feel like that's such like a song that kind of brings me back too, because like it references Kanye's Gold Digger, and that was like the album that got me into like to hip hop in general. So it's true. Like I still like there's not many things that I still like or love from back then. Very few things, like some sports, some teams, some music, and hip hop. That's about it, man. There's 2005, man. There's not a lot of stuff I love from back then that I still love now. Like I used to like video games. I barely play video games now, but like music and specifically hip hop, that's one of them. That's one of the things I still love. So I know like people say hip hop's dead and all that, but I don't know. I'm going to a show right now with a 52-year-old and a 48-year-old still killing it. So I don't know. And you know what? There actually are. I know that people will say there's not a lot of dope 20-year-olds. That's like the knock on it. But hip hop, man. Hip hop's hip hop, no matter what age. Like people are used to it like in the 90s where like when you're 30, you're like old. But that's just because the genre was young back then. There was no young new rappers in their 40s. You know what I mean? So just shout out to hip hop. It's been a big summer, and yeah, man, like I can't complain about what's coming out. It's been total heat after total heat. Um, Next week, what division you want we tackle here? AFC North.
That's one of the better ones. I think we should get to a shitty one so we can run through it fast and
I
talk
think we're
about
out of
other
the
things.
shitty ones. Didn't we do the Souths last
NFC
week?
We
West.
still have the AFC West. We still have the
NFC West.
yeah, we might be out of shitty divisions.
NFC
Yeah, we
West,
are.
NFC North.
That's not a shitty division. That's
That's not a
actually
shitty.
Oh,
probably
That's we did the shitty. Last
yeah.
week's was the shitty division week.
Yeah, I think we just have a couple
No,
good ones left.
No,
Yeah.
have we done
surprise.
the NFC South? No, we did do the NFC South.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll surprise you next week. How about that? We'll surprise the viewers with our
Also,
choice.
before we get off of here, Steven, I'm surprised that you didn't toast to Tom Brady getting a statue outside of the stadium. I just saw it and it looks incredible.
Statues are, I don't know. Statues are for just
Take down the statue.
uh,
Put it in a museum.
I'm not a big statue fan, honestly, and it's just kind of like I
Oh
feel
my
like it's a little
God.
weird where it's people get statues. Me personally, like I felt weird where it's like I the last statue I thought that was kind of cool was just the what was it? Shaq getting a statue or whatever outside of Staples or whatever. I think that was kind of like cool, but the idea of statues in general is just kind of like, okay.
What's the issue
No,
with the
it's just
statue?
kind
I
of
don't
weird to me.
understand.
It's just kind of
Because he's
like,
alive,
no, it's just the thing where it's like you don't need a statue to remember somebody's greatness with. It's kind of like it's like I already know
but
they're great. I already
but
know.
but a statue outside, like you
Y'all
deserve
know my
if
hot take.
nobody cares.
The
But
retired
if he
jersey thing. Yeah.
Steven knows.
mm,
So my hot
mm,
take for everybody, I don't believe in retired jerseys, period.
No, I
Cowboys,
do not.
we hate the
Brady's
Cowboys.
jersey should
I hate
never
the
be worn
Cowboy.
again.
I hate the Cowboys. That's the one thing they do right. No retired jerseys. It's just a number. You want to honor them in the Ring of Honor, a little Hall of Fame, their team Hall of Fame. That's cool.
Yeah, nobody
Who
should
cares
wear
about
Derek
retired?
Jeter's
yeah,
number
nobody
two
nobody
again.
Who
retire. They
cares?
don't retire numbers on the Cowboys, but you don't see a whole bunch of people running out there wearing 22. And the only people they didn't retire 88 because Michael Irvin's a crackhead.
Didn't Des wear 80? Didn't Des wear 88?
And that's rightfully so. Nobody,
Yeah,
well,
but they get approval from the previous person that owns it, so they always go
I
back and
I don't
ask the
believe in it.
playmaker.
I don't. How about that? I just don't believe in retired numbers. Because you know why? Because I don't care about numbers at all myself. It's funny. I'm an accountant, but I just don't give a shit about numbers. Like I used to be the kid, right? Like in baseball, I would pick any number, man. Whatever one you got for me. That's it. I don't have
Yeah,
a
but
special number.
you weren't the best player on your team
You don't know that. You don't know that. Did you see the stats? Do you know the
If
stats?
fucking Cal Ripken Jr. showed up and hit
I,
77 home runs, and 30 years from now they want somebody to remember, they want them to look up in the stand and say, "Hey, Dad, why is that number up there?"
but you're
And then
paying
you can put
homage.
them on.
you're paying homage
But
I
to.
don't want somebody. I don't want somebody. I don't want some fucking crackhead coming on my team and beating his girlfriend, and then putting my jersey number on and disparaging. Now,
You
when you
don't
see
own the
22 on the,
number.
oh
now
my
when you
God, it's a
see, now when
number.
you
It's a
see 22 on the
number.
Okay.
Cowboys,
Oh my
you
God.
relate it to that. That's
You are
how it
so
works.
romantic about sports. Oh my
Okay.
God,
I
it's a
don't know.
number.
I
It's a
don't know.
number.
Now, I think just certain players should have numbers retired. I don't think
I
it's
agree. I'm
all.
not
Okay, I'll give
saying.
you one. I'll give you one player
Oh,
who should be retired. Jackie Robinson should be retired. That for sure should be retired. That's
look,
probably about it.
if you can find a reason for for somebody to get jersey retired, then you can find a reason. Nobody should ever wear
Yeah,
18
but
for the
that
Colts
transcends
again.
sports. That's
Well,
why.
Nobody.
I'm okay if it's like just make it a select small, like if you could do it
I
on like one
agree.
hand, like one
I,
hand. Yeah, like Peyton Manning. Hey, yeah, that's like a unique
but they
player.
certain players mean certain things. Like if the Colts came out this and you can poll Colts fans, I'm sure they would 100% agree with me. If somebody came out and was like, "Hey, we want to retire Dallas Clark's jersey or Marlon Jackson just for getting the interception in the 2007 AFC Championship game," if they came out and were like, "Hey, we want to retire Marlon Jackson's jersey," people would be okay with it because he meant that much to that team and he created such a memorable moment for that team. If somebody said, "Hey, Bob Sanders, you were here for however many years, you played elite defense and you meant this much to our team," if they retired his 21, I wouldn't be upset with it. But I agree that it should be select for the select few. But if that team deems it that they don't want nobody wearing that number because they want that legacy preserved, then I'm fine with it. Who are we to say that they shouldn't do it?
I,
That's just my take. That's all. If I ran a team, we wouldn't be doing that. So, but I'll never run a team.
Well,
So I guess we're all good.
there you
I
go.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I
Imagine if
wouldn't
I.
be putting statues up of people either outside
Yeah.
of the
Also,
stadium.
if we
So yeah.
if me and Steven co-owned the teams, Calvin, it would be done. There would be no statues.
No,
Take statues torn down, retired numbers torn down. That's it. Free
it's
for all. Total free
Mm.
for all.
it's kind of like
Tearing down our legacy, ruining our country.
and like that, we're out. Till next time, everybody. We're out.